Hey guys, welcome back to Lions Den Investments and Reviews. My name is Casey. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hey, if you can do me a favor, hit that like button real quick. Subscribe to the channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about the emotions right now that are in the crypto market, okay? Especially when it comes to fear. And I'm going to start off with a quote that I heard not too long ago from Henry David Thoreau's, okay? And then we're going to tie that into the current market sentiment right now in Bitcoin and cryptos. And I'm going to explain why going into 2022 here, guys, things are looking extremely bullish, okay? So, as I usually say, have no fear. And I'm gonna show you why. I'm going to provide evidence from a macro sentiment on why that is. So getting started, you know, Henry David Thoreau's he had a quote here, and he said, "The mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation." Okay, now I think he should, we should probably take this quote and then go ahead and just change it a little bit and just say the mass of people lead lives of quiet desperation. Let's include our women in that as well, because the thing is, guys, when people invest in any type of asset or any type of market, what a lot of people tend to do is they dabble. Okay, they don't go all in on anything because they have this false sense of security when it comes to higher risk equals higher reward, and that in itself is kind of a myth. Let me explain why. Because the thing is, risk, when it comes to risk, guys, all risk is a lack of control. Okay, now if you don't have any control, you have more risk. You understand what I'm saying? So it's actually kind of the opposite. Higher risk equals higher reward. It's true in a sense, but higher risk, what is that? All higher risk is a lack of control. So if you have more control over your money and if you have more control over, what investments you're getting into, and you know how to read charts and stuff like that, guess what? That risk goes away, and therefore you have lower risk, even though the returns can still be high like what they are in cryptos here. Now, going into 2022, okay, we're talking about fear and the emotions that come with fear. There's a lot of news out there right now, and a lot of especially traders that are looking at charts, and they're dealing in leverage, okay, through options contracts, stuff like that. They're all saying that Bitcoin is going into a bear market, or that the price is about ready to tank here, okay? And that might be true short term. But what you got to remember, if you're looking at these leveraged traders and people who are zooming in under a microscope and looking at shorter time frames, you got to understand that their mindset is on shorter time frames. And because of that, they're not zooming out and looking at the macros. A lot of these guys, Crypto is one of them. I love the guy. Okay, I watch his channel, and I look at the short-term price movements on Bitcoin and Ethereum, kind of trying to see like where things are going. But even guys like Crypto or BitBoy, they've got a shorter time frame because they pay attention to the trades that they're making in leverage. So their judgment can be skewed in regards to what they're saying about blockchain as a whole, and they sometimes can miss stuff. Okay, they're human like us. So my advice to people is, if you're following Crypto or BitBoy or some of these bigger channels, keep that in mind, okay, because they can miss stuff too. And I'm going to show you in this video here what I'm talking about when it comes to macros, and when in doubt, zoom out, okay? So if we're looking at the charts right now on Bitcoin, for instance, look at this real quick. This is the weekly chart, and the reason why I got a weekly chart out here is because it's a longer time frame, and with longer time frames, you got stronger indicators, okay? We're not looking at 1 hour charts or 2 hour charts or anything like that, like Crypto and BitBoy do. Let's zoom out, look at the weekly chart, because specifically on the weekly chart here, guys, what I've caught is what they call bullish divergence. Okay, now bullish divergence is basically, if we go over here, it's when you've got the price action of your asset going down, Okay, like you see right over here, it's going down, and then your oscillator or your RSI or MACD is going up, or the price action of your asset is going up, and then your oscillator, your RSI, MACD, is going down. Well, if we go back to the chart, look at this. You've got the price action still going up on Bitcoin, guys. This is on a weekly chart, by the way, so this is long term. This is strong. This is a very strong indication or indicator. And then you've got the RSI oscillator going down. Okay, so if we go back here, what you're seeing is this right here, right over here where my cursor is. That is called hidden bullish divergence. And when you're looking at the charts, okay, we can, if we zoom in here on Bitcoin, we could very likely drop below this the price movement going up here. We could wick below that and come down as low as like 41,500 or 42,000. Okay, now what I'm expecting though, just based on that, and then if you go over here to my site, which is academyofcrypto.com, okay, I'll leave a link in the description for this, but if you go over here, I created this site for folks. So if we go to the fear and greed index and we scroll down, you just click on this right here, this will take you to the fear and greed index. So it'll show you the sentiment and the emotions in the market right now based on fear and greed. The fear index right now is at 24. Okay, so going back to the charts here, you know, you've got bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, and then you've got a fear index at 24. So things aren't adding up there, right? And then you've got people out there like these short-term traders who are saying, oh my God, the prices could go down. You know, don't panic just yet, but who knows where it's going to go, blah, 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 whatever. Don't listen to that stuff right now. Zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out, because we're going to focus on the macros now. Now, the macros match up with what I just showed you on the hidden bullish divergence. And I'm going to go through this really fast. I'm not going to cover any of these articles in depth, but I just want to show you this stuff kind of as a PowerPoint presentation, so to speak, where I can show you what is in line for 2022, because everybody's thinking that we're going into a bear market. Well, the macros say otherwise, along with the hidden bullish divergence that I just showed you on the weekly chart. Here's the first article. Fed Chair Jerome Powell says he isn't concerned about crypto disrupting financial stability in the U.S. Okay, here's another one. Kramer. Okay, you guys know Kramer from Mad Money. Kramer's lightning round. He says, I prefer crypto over gold as a hedge. All right. Here's another one. I'm a huge believer in crypto technology, says former U.S. SEC chair. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, that was Jay Clayton. He was under the Trump administration, and he said that cryptocurrencies have numerous purposes and are connected to a variety of industries, and the SEC should be in charge of regulating only those sectors that are linked to it. Now, what's funny about that, Jay Clayton, okay, guys, if you don't know, he's the one that went after XRP Ripple with the crypto regulations, and when he was in office under Trump, he was anti-crypto. Now, all of a sudden, he switched his tune. What's up with that, right? We'll go over here. We'll go further. Tesla to accept Dogecoin for payments. Again, Elon Musk is out here December 15th saying he's going to accept Dogecoin for payments. Shiba Inu, here's another one. Dominates Australia, India, and the Philippines as majority of investors flock towards the meme token. And we'll keep going. This is The Street. Now, this is an interesting article, by the way. They said the dollar will hit zero with Bitcoin below 40,000 in 2022. Now, this is coming from the crypto CEO at Kraken. Kraken's chief advises investors prepay their healthcare and tuition bills and take on higher U.S. debt. Basically, what he's saying in this article, I read over this article earlier, and he was saying that because of inflation and the interest rate hikes that they're getting ready to do, that's going to take money off the table for investors and institutions who want to borrow U.S. debt, because they're going to have to pay that back at higher interest rates, right? So they're not going to be as adamant to go out there and be like, hey, I want to borrow money. And because of that, it takes money off the table for these guys. So, you know, anybody who's looking to expand their corporation or, use borrowed money to invest in assets and stuff like that, they're going to think twice, because, it kind of, you take on liability at higher interest rates. So because of that, they were saying that the U.S. dollar is going to lose some value. And this is a pretty grim article, because the chief advisor for Kraken here, or the chief executive of crypto exchange Kraken, he says the dollar is going to crash and Bitcoin will see its price fall dramatically in 2022. And Jesse Powell, okay, he urged investors this week to prepay healthcare and tuition expenses, take on more U.S. debt. He said, maybe I should stop making predictions. I'm going to say the dollar is going to zero. You should start stocking up on gasoline and milk right now. And if you can, prepay your healthcare and tuition bills. You should probably do that as well. Then he goes on and he says, take on as much U.S. dollar debt as you can, because there will be a jubilee at some point. He's talking about a debt jubilee reset. Interest rates are going negative, so don't hold your currency in dollars. Now think about that for a minute, because he's saying don't hold your currency in dollars. Well, what are you going to hold your wealth in? Think about it. Crypto, maybe? I don't know. I'm paying more attention to the US dollar these days, wondering where the bottom is. Seems like inflation is out of control and there's no end in sight. And he goes on and on. I'll leave a link in the description so you can continue reading that. But basically the gist of it here is 40,000. You notice the price 40,000 right there? Why do you think they're saying 40,000? It's because if Bitcoin goes below 40,000, all right, think about it. If the dollar hits zero, like what he's saying here, and Bitcoin hits 40,000 and it starts dropping lower than that, well, you've got a serious problem, because that means everybody's going broke. You think they're going to allow that? I mean, consider what I just showed you with like Kramer talking about, cryptos being a better hedge than gold. Think about it. And this all goes back to that emotional roller coaster that we're on right now when it comes to greed and fear. So what's the biggest emotion right now driving the markets? It's fear. And if you got a lot of fear in the markets, and you got people not willing to borrow debt, corporations not willing to borrow debt because interest rates are going up, and you got inflation, you got people coming out here saying that the dollar is going to hit zero, where do you think people are going to start putting their money? And with that in mind, why do you think Bitcoin would drop below 40,000? It's not going to. So with that said, guys, that's really all I had for today's video. If you like the content, hit the like button, share this with people as well, guys. All right, people need to know this stuff. They need to wake up, because there's going to be a moment here in 2022 where the markets start waking up to, all the manipulation, all the stuff that the Fed is doing right now, especially after the FOMC meeting, and they were talking about the interest rate hikes that they want to do, and all of that stuff. So nobody really can predict where these prices are going to go short term, and that's why I'm zooming out, because I'm not listening to that anymore. I'm not paying attention to the FUD, and I'm expecting in 2022, yes, we might come down here short term before we go into January with Bitcoin. Looking back at the chart here, we could wick down below this upward price here and come back down to about 42,000. But I'm expecting a massive move up in prices going into 2022 based on what I just showed you with the macroeconomics. Not to mention, I mentioned Tesla accepting Dogecoin, and I covered a little bit of there on Sheeb Inu dominating Australia and the Philippines. One trend that I think you're going to see here in 2022 is, again, the meme tokens. Okay, those are going to move first. So if you got a portfolio out there, this is not really financial advice. I'm not recommending you go out and do this, but this is what I'm doing. I'm diversifying my portfolio and adding that NOS to my portfolio, like I've been telling you, with meme tokens, because I think the meme tokens are going to take off first. Then your utility tokens will follow behind that. And if Bitcoin decides to lose more dominance than it already has, I think what you'll see is Ethereum flipping the dominance on Bitcoin, and then your utility tokens and altcoins will rise here in 2022. Because there's a lot of people out there saying, well, Bitcoin could go to zero. Okay, fine, let it go to zero. I don't care. It doesn't stop me from doing what I'm doing. I'm going to triple down on 2022 because I everything I'm seeing right now is mainstream adoption and mass adoption on blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies as a whole. That's everything from the metaverse to NFTs to meme tokens and then utility tokens. So, you know, again, like I always say in my channel, have no fear, my friends, okay? And with that said, you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you soon.